Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about why I failed going zero waste. And I used to feel pretty bad about this, but I don't anymore. I'm giving grace and mercy to myself and realizing that it's small steps, not huge life changes all at once, that are easier for me and that might make an impact. So when the zero waste movement got big, I had just had my son Ruben. He's 5 now, and right before that and the year after that, I tried to be as zero waste as possible. I tried to buy everything in jars. I tried to buy dry beans. I tried to buy dry rices and all of this stuff not in plastic, and it just was too hard. I tried to do too much at once. I tried to go zero waste in my shampoo. I tried to go, and I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to have the little mason jar with my trash in it, which we still create 2 giant bags of trash a week here. And then when I had my daughter, I'd had some miscarriages before her and after her, and I just have not been able to be low waste. After we had my daughter, I went back to buying disposable paper towels, which I hadn't bought in many years. I went back to buying plastic bags, which I had not bought in many years. I went back to buying shampoo bottles instead of my bar soap. I went back to buying tissues, and pretty much the only zero waste thing that I did during this time is we cloth diapered my daughter, which to me wasn't a sacrifice because I already had all the cloth diapers from my son and it was really easy to do. So I don't know if failure is the correct term, because now we are moving. Now that my daughter is 2, I feel more mentally stable. I'm working on my gut health. I'm working on my autoimmune diseases, and I'm ending the stigma and the guilt factor of going low waste. I will never be zero waste. I live in the middle of a city. I have 2 small children. I have a husband who's not interested in being low waste or zero waste in any sort of way, and I can't fight him, and I can't spend all of our money on fancy zero waste products. And I know I don't need any of those things. But to replace something, usually the zero waste equivalent is more expensive. So for example, the small changes I have made this year is we bought zero waste tissues again. We are using a zero waste dish soap because I wash the dishes, so I can choose what dish soap to buy. I do lots of home cooking, so we have herbs on the windowsill, and we're no longer cloth diapering because my daughter is now 2.5, and we're trying to potty train, so we are using disposables for her potty training experience. And my neighbor is mowing the lawn, so I'm sorry. But I think the zero waste community, or the pressure I put on myself, basically caused me a lot of anxiety in regards to zero waste. I thought if I wasn't perfect, then it wasn't worth doing anything. I thought if I failed, something was wrong with me and I should just give up. And all those things are not true. I can do small things to help reduce the impact of waste in the environment. We do buy all of our clothes basically secondhand or organic from an organic company. That is just because of, one, we don't have a lot of money, so when I do buy a new piece, I want it to last, so I try to make it very high quality. And if we're buying other things, I go to thrift stores because I don't have a lot of money and clothes are very expensive. So I know that I'm reducing an impact there, but honestly, it's just because I am poor. It's not really because I want to be low waste or anything. It's just because I got this sweater at Goodwill. Why should I go out and spend $60 on this sweater? I think it's from Land's End. Why should I go out and spend $60 on this sweater when I can go buy it at Goodwill, as long as I go and I hunt and I find things? And I love this sweater. I wear it all the time. I realize that I am middle class, so I am not lower class. I am not below the poverty line. I grew up that way, though, so I do have a very good experience with that. I grew up with my mother on food stamps as a single mom for many years, where we didn't really have anything. And she put herself through college and she got a job as a teacher, and we were a single income family back in the 90s when having a single mom, I guess it didn't get you ostracized or stoned, you know, like in the 1800s, but it was a very stigmatized thing, and churches treated my mother awful. They treated me awful just for not having a father. I was constantly told, maybe non-verbally, but sometimes verbally, that something was wrong with me, that I was broken or damaged already just for not having a father. And this really isn't related to zero waste, but I saw my mom work so hard to afford me possessions, to afford me presents and gifts and things that she never had as a child because she was the youngest of 5 and had to reuse the bath water. I've been very poor when I was younger, raised by a mother who was even poorer than that, who sometimes didn't even have food to eat when she was growing up. I always had food. Sometimes it was very, very cheap food, but I always had food, and I'm very grateful for a mom who bent over backwards and who wasn't afraid to put herself out there and sign up for food stamps when she needed it. She wasn't afraid to go out there and put herself through college and to put me in daycare. She wasn't afraid to put me in public school. She did what she needed to do to take care of us. You know, I experienced trauma in my life, as most kids do growing up. Like, I didn't have the best childhood in some areas, but I know I had a mom who loved me and who tried the best. I don't know how I got started talking about zero waste and then started telling my life story, but that's what it is. I am not going to put the pressure on myself to be zero waste anymore. I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to have a mason jar full of trash. I am going to try to be conscious with the decisions I make with the money that God has given me. I'm going to try to be conscious showing my children how to make purchases and how to manage their money. And I'm going to be free of the pressure to be perfect. And I'm going to be okay with being, 10 or 15% low waste, and the rest of it for my mental health and for the ease of life, using reusable and disposable items. I know I've watched many videos about the zero waste movement, and a lot of this mental load, this guilt, should be on the companies who are making these products. They can do better, they can, and I realize that might mean they have to raise their prices, they might have to change things, but companies can do better. So yeah, I don't know what this rambly video is about, but I'll see you guys later. Bye.